Hi, welcome into this Popcash Funding Reviews, where I, Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, will be showing you how to get up to $1,500 for your business today, especially showing you the hard, exposed truths about this funding platform, the pros and cons, alternatives, and so much more. So you can finally continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch. Plus, what nobody else is willing to share with you in depth. So make sure you stick with me until the very end so you get all the juicy tips and everything you need to know, and make sure that this is the best option for you. But before any of that, let me answer the question on your mind. Is Popcash funding legit? Yes, it is. However, in caps lock, it doesn't necessarily mean it is the best solution for you. So I'm going to be getting into also the alternatives that I feel would be best. And I'm also going to link to you those down below in the description. So once this is done with, again, make sure you stick with me and listen very carefully and watch. That will be down below for you to check out. So what is this platform? So this isn't a grant, PPP sort of thing, a SBA loan, and not technically is it a loan. It isn't. What it is a cash advance, or in another word, a merchant cash advance. So it's like a purchase agreement, and what happens is they're purchasing and they're taking away your future debit and even credit card receivable. So whatever you're making, there's like this amount that's deducted. The more you make, the more it's taken out. The less you make, the less it's taken out. So they're purchasing your future receivables, and that's what is known as a cash advance / merchant cash advance. And I've made content on this that I'll link to you down below, so if you'd like to learn more about what that is. And it's one of the fastest ways to get funding, and one of the better and more popular programs, and one of the higher approval rates out there above everything else, honestly. So I'll leave more content with video, with blog post stuff, but let's get right into here. We're looking at the home page, is what it looks like at the moment. I also made this blog post that I will continuously update if there's anything that does get updated, and I'll leave it to you down below in the description if you'd rather read it and go from there. So $1,500 for your business today. And let me quickly go in through what these qualifications and requirements are, because it is right there. So your business must have been in operation for at least 3 months to get this type of funding, with monthly business deposits of at least $1,500 and a $150 minimum average daily balance in order to qualify for funding. That is what you must meet. At least 3 months, it's very minimal, with monthly business deposits of at least $1,500 into that business checking account. Why is that important? Overdrafts, bounce checks, non-sufficient funds, negative days. When we're talking about all of this and we're seeing there are not enough deposits into the account, it doesn't justify us to think, as a lender's perspective, that you can handle making those payments, and you may go into a default. You may have had this personal guarantee attached to this, which is just the case with about anything out there with funding programs. And defaults are very common, and people end up in collections because they can't make the payments. And if you're getting $1,500, you may already be struggling with cash flow. You may not be. There may be other options you were declined for. You may be in a better position, but you don't qualify for those. So this is going to be an alternative solution. So an $150 minimum average daily balance in order to qualify for funding is all they're asking for. But before you move any further with this, again, make sure you're listening, because there are alternatives, especially self-employee funding, where you can get up to $5,000. There's even between $5,000 to $25,000 same day instant approval funding, and as well as up to $2 million. So if you're looking for more than $1,500, I'll leave programs and options for you down below in the description, so make sure to check those out. So what you're seeing here is your name, your business name, email, and then your sales, which you'll want to put. Are you the business owner? Yes. If not, who's the primary one, or how much percentage do you have? You want to have to go with that. Banks, we can't work with at this time, and this is a bit of a con that I'll be covering in time. Aspiration, Blue Vine, Brex, Cash App, Chime, Current, Dave, Envil, Found, GoToBank, Lending Club, Lily, MetaBank, Money Lion Bank, Navy Federal, a big one, NetSpend, Novo, One Bank, Oxygen Square, another one, Upgrade, USAA, Borrow, Venmo, Walmart, Money Card. So that is a disadvantage, because when you look at the process of these online lending platforms, not a lot of them will cover every single bank, and they won't give you permission. Sometimes you'll have to ask the bank themselves if it's not listed and go from there. But if it isn't, there are alternatives options as well. And even if you don't have a business checking account, and you have a personal checking account you're using for business, And that's become a bit difficult because business checking accounts are what is required, that you're depositing directly into that business checking account. You're not causing banking activity where you're using a personal account for business, you're transferring from personal to business, and that's not counted as organic or even true revenue. We're not taking what you transfer from personal, especially if you have other banking accounts, multiple banking activities, other banks, and you're transferring funds, the way you're collecting them and then transferring them, that may not be looked at as true revenue. So be careful about what you're doing. And I'll try to leave content about banking activity and how it can hurt you, as well as deposits and too many fluctuations that don't work, and it gets you disqualified, non-sufficient funds, negative days, and so forth. So make sure you're having that all on point. And it's very important to have. Now let me move down here, and we're going to learn a little bit about Popcash. You can see a live chat there. So Popcash is a quote-unquote new, it's relative to the time of this, exciting online funding platform designed to help small businesses and small business owners like yourself get the cash they need fast and easy so they can continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch. One or more, or just one of those. So Popcash is funded by industry-leading professionals who are dedicated to helping your business grow and succeed at any time, at any season. I'm sure you've hit low points, or you're like, 1,500 is not enough. It's just enough to cover business expenses, some bills here, an extra tire for a truck, or so forth. It could be to someone else, but not to you. So if you're looking for more than 1,500 and you qualify, back to the point of the personal checking account you're using for business, there is an alternative option for that. I highly recommend getting a business checking account, but if you're a self-employee, 1099, independent, contractor, gig worker, etc., and you have a personal account you're using for business, and you're doing $3,000 per month, and you can get up to 5,000 or so, that could change more or less. If you have those details, then I'll leave an option for you down below for self-employee funding. You can check out. But again, what I said, in 3,000 per month. So more specifically, you can get up to 1,500 as fast as what it's at now, but if that changes, you'll see an update here. To clarify, this is not a loan or a grant, but rather a cash advance or a merchant cash advance. As they are well known, it's a purchase agreement. So Popcash is purchasing your business's future revenue. They're purchasing future receipts from you up to 1,000, and the payback from those receipts end up being a total of 1,500. So the weekly deduction you have is about $93.75, $93 more or less, for a total of 16 weeks paid, or until paid in full starting 7 days after you receive your funds. I'll get into what you need to qualify, which I already spoke about, but why Popcash funding, aside from getting access to funds faster in the bank, with which you can't get through if you possibly tried that. If not, it is very difficult. I've been in your position. I know how difficult it can be to try to find other options. You go through other brokers / agents, and they mislead you. They tell you, yeah, this is what can happen. This is what we can get you. But the end result doesn't always match what they're telling you. So as your business loan broker / agent who's helped out people of all industries, no revenue, complete startup to non-startup, newly established, just doing 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 15,000 plus, $1 million per month, billions in annual gross sales, etc. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I speak the truth and I understand this industry very well. And I'm always being kept up to date with it in case anything changes. I have personal business relationships with the lenders, the underwriters, the best ones out there. And I've been doing this wholeheartedly. I can help you, being very humble and grateful that I can. And I approach this from more of a personal perspective. And I'd like to get to know you as a human first. As much as you would like to open up, that's up to you. And then what you'd like to get out of this in your business, secondly. So you have somebody who can help you along the way. So going over here, let's scroll down. How does Popcash work? It's very fast, easy, and simple. All you need is a business bank account, as I mentioned. But if you don't, you have a personal account you use for business and doing at least 3,000 at this moment, and you'd still like to check that option out, look down below. But if you're doing more than 3,000 and you're doing, let's say, 5,000, between 5,000 to 15,000, there's an up to 25K option, and even in sometimes up to 35,000 option with a different alternative. And if you're doing 15,000 and above and would like up to 2 million, up to 5 million incredibly fast, then look down below, as well as I'll leave non-collateralized and collateralized options for you, online banking solutions, private lenders, etc. So all you need is a business bank account, no hidden fees, with no credit check. So that alternative, the self-employed 1099, 3,000 per month that I've been talking about a little bit, is no credit checks as well. You can use a personal account for business and so forth. Step 1, complete the simple online funding application. Step 2, verify business bank account and obtain approval. Step 3, you receive your funds. Popcash advantages: you get an easy application, fast access to cash, funding up to $1,500, no credit checks, no hidden fees, quick access to your funds. You get a weekly remittance schedule, and it's 100% safe and secure. Now let me go down here. Who qualifies for this? As we spoke about, we're going to get into the industries now. We got to see the Popcash qualifications. Business industries that qualify are: 1, food trucks, hairdressers, dry cleaners, clothing stores, bars, barbershops, transportation, warehouses, contractors, photo studios, cafes, and much more. It's not limited to only that. You got to see how Popcash works in 3 simple steps. The Popcash advantage and benefits: you get an easy application process. As I mentioned, you got to see some of those already. The Popcash application process: here's what you would like to know. What do I do when I get started? Because let me say this. You're seeing it on screen, and I'll go over them. With little amounts, you're going to see 1,500, 3,000, up to 5,000, 5,000 to 15,000, 5,000 up to 25,000. What you're going to see is a lot of this being more of an automation process, 100% online digital application. Sometimes it may be a PDF with a digital, or it's just a digital online at 100%. The thing is, you can't have lenders, underwriters, or especially the underwriters and myself, always going through this as a manual process and looking at every file. So many get submitted, so many don't go through. And those who do get through, they may get declined at the background check and all of the stuff that happens on the back end of what the final underwriting process is. So it does not make sense for the underwriters to take every single second of their day to look at every single one of these files. So you may just be asked to verify your business bank account, to link on your banking account so it can see what banking activity you have and give you an offer that's very precise, safe, and secure as well, so you don't have to worry about any fraudulent activity. So a lot of people come to me and they go, well, I don't want to verify, I don't want to link my banking, I don't want to add social security number. Well, without a social security number, we can't really see your credit. We can't really understand what's happening in your business. We can't really get a good idea of if you're making your payments on time. And it's very safe and secure. We're not going to withdraw anything from your account. So step 1, click on the Apply Now button. Step 2, enter your business information. Step 3, log into Plaid and verify your business bank account. That's just who they're connected with to disperse to you the funds and who they're connecting with, the bank and all that. Step 4, review and accept your offer. Step 5, electronically sign your contract. Step 6, you get funded. It's very fast. So what I want to let you know is I have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. And I'll show you what that looks like or I'll get into that in a moment. But you can get that along with filling out this free questionnaire form that you're seeing on screen to get a personalized and customized email response for your best funding option and options. Plus, you get that free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. So you're not wasting time. We're not talking about days here, weeks, months, and even years of sifting through old, outdated, scammy type theory, fluffy-based information, stuff that just doesn't work anymore. This is the most kept up to date. So you'll see the 6-step or so process that I put together, as well as a lot of bonus content, stuff you need to learn about banking activity and everything before you walk into that application, you know, with 110% confidence and certainty that you will get approved. But when you fill this out, what happens is it'll land in my email inbox. You can get this done in less than 30 seconds. No, I am not a creditor. This is very safe and secure, confidential. It does not get submitted into an application once it lands to me. So once you fill this out, it lands into my email, where then I will analyze, evaluate it, and give you a proper response back on your best funding option and options. Very thoroughly personalized from a personal experience, giving you a more of a human approach, showing you that I really do care about you. And I'm not looking at you like a business transaction. I care about you as a human being. It's what I say to people. If you were sitting right next to me, I'd ask, you know, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you have that going on this week? Are you going to the farmer's market? Oh, with your family? So it's very easy. And then we talk about how we can help you with your business and what this funding can actually do. I'm very precise. And as a business loan broker / agent who's been doing this for a long time, I know how to approach this. Not pressure. I don't ever do that. I give you the information. If it makes sense for you to move forward, you can. And it'll look like this, more or less, about us. Some of the services I offer more, I just put a handful of them, how it works. You get to see that. So maybe it'll look like this more or less. It could change over time, but that's what you would expect. Now let's continue on with this here. The Popcash reviews. Let's check these out here. If you're still not sure, here's some testimonials. Fast and easy, received my funding in just 3 business days, was able to get my inventory restocked, and continue to provide my customers with great service. You see on Trustpilot there, 4.5 or so, based on a limited amount of reviews. So again, quote unquote, the new part. Don't take our word for it. Here's what our clients had to say. Thanks to Popcash, I was able to stay in operation and had zero downtime when my food truck broke down. The fast funding Popcash provided was a huge help to my business. Great service, was able to get funded quickly and use the money to help grow my business. Popcash is a great asset to any business. Everything was fast and easy application, funded the same day. Each application funded the same day, easy requirements. And I'll probably get into some more of these reviews here in a moment, but let's follow along with this here. Popcash BBB, according to the BBB, Popcash has a BBB rating and accreditation of a score of B, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if it's just in the new stages. I prefer to go with somebody who's A, especially when I'm getting funding for my business. So it's still not a thing to be really worried about unless you do very thorough investigation, which I've done all that. How much does Popcash funding cost? There's no charge for your application fee. Like I said, there are no hidden fees. There is really no cost. The only cost you have is your energy and your time. So be careful about just starting an application. You're like, oh, I'm a tire kicker. I'm just going to, whatever, I'm going to wing it. I've been declined 100 times. I didn't really pay attention to the qualification, which a lot of people do. And so just be wary of that. Don't go through it only to find out you were declined, wasted 20 minutes on this getting started, and the whole process. And even if you do know you'll get approved, but it isn't the right solution for you, which again, I'm going to get into in a moment. So who's Popcash funding for? It's made for business owners who are in the beginning stages or are newly established, as well as one that are struggling to grow in revenue and would like to get a small amount to help you move forward, realistically speaking, as well as if you've been declined in other locations for not maybe having enough of a deposit, average daily bank balance, the number of deposits, the minimum amount you need. Here's more business owners who have an operating business within at least 3 months. Again, you have monthly deposits of at least 1,500 minimum average daily bank balance. Over here, if we're talking about, let's go back over here. So 1,500 and then the 150 minimum average daily bank balance. So I'm gonna have to add that. So in time, I'll put that there. So I'll put the 150 there. Average. So this is a bit new. And average. See how this isn't scripted? Would you rather go to somebody who doesn't have all the information and they script something just to sound good? Or would you rather hear it from an expert? So sometimes this stuff happens, it can be spontaneous, which is great. So people who want a simple online application, save that there so I don't forget. You don't want a credit check. Perhaps there's something in the report, or there's just, it's not what you want, but it's not always the case. If you're asked for credit, it's very important because we want to verify you can actually make the payments. And we want to understand that if you were to go into default, that's the thing here. Defaults are common, especially when people end up in collections. They end up wanting to deferment that just doesn't work. They end up taking on too much. They don't understand that what they took on, they have to pay back a certain amount. People think that paying back the $93 that we saw over here or so for a total of 16 weeks. And what it comes down to, what is it, about 18 or so dollars per day at that amount, 18.6 or so. That's not bad. That's a very low amount that you have to pay back, but it depends on you and your business. If you're just struggling to make any kind of revenue, yes, it may be more difficult for you as opposed to someone else. So don't think that's a downfall. So you want to go on a credit check. Many industries. Who's Popcash funding not for? Businesses who need more than 1,500. That's unobvious. But at the same time, you got to keep it in the perspective of, do you have enough of the revenue? The other ones we might have to ask for credit checks, and we're going to look at least a 550 FICO for a minimum. Some other ones maybe at a 500 FICO for more. It used to be at a time where you can get in with 450, but because people end up in collections a lot of the time, 450 isn't always sufficient enough. And that may be an exception to some people if they have greater funding details. So businesses doing more than 5,000 and even more than 15,000, which I'll give you the alternative. You want better rates and terms. You don't have a business checking account. You don't meet the qualifications / requirements, and there's possibly more there. Pros and cons. You can get cash you need fast and easy. You get safe online secured processor funding that is also hassle-free, no hidden fees, no credit score check. Weekly remittance schedule, 100% secure. Cons, limited to the amount of 1,500 or so if it even goes up. Doesn't work with certain banks, which can be a downfall. Limited benefits, it's just moving forward with all of it. and it can be a bit of a limitation for you. And there are some more things in there. If it's a cash advance, not a cash advance, it's not a con. It just depends on each person. So it can be a little bit of a higher, medium to higher rate / interest, which is okay. You just have to understand that what you take does the benefit exceed the repayment. That's what happens with a lot of these cash advances and other forms of funding. If your benefit does not exceed your repayment, it would never make sense for you to get the funding and move forward with it. Because you're already in insufficient cash flow, you will hit that and you won't understand it. You won't double, you won't triple, quadruple, or even keep your business stable in your profits. So if you take, in another example, if you took 20,000 and you doubled it, you made 40,000, and then the next following months or right away, and you're continuously doing it, 40, 80, it's adding up, 120. That 20,000 or whatever you're paying back on 29,000, and you made 40,000, $10,000 plus profit or so, however you're looking at it, over the time, it's going to help you. So some alternatives, there are definitely better alternatives that I would recommend, depending on if you qualified for them. So it could be on perspective. So one of them would be Giggle Finance. This is the one that I've been speaking about that I'll leave you a link to down below in the description, where you can learn more about and how to get started, where you should be doing at least 3,000 in a monthly average revenue, no credit checks and all that, personal account you can use for business. A lot of industries, 1099, small businesses, truckers, we have the freelancers, Uber, Lyft, and so forth. You may want to check that option. A lot of people go through there and get funded. SBA Advance is another one to check out. Then they have a great partnership with another program that I'll leave you more information to down below, but they can go up to 35,000. There's one where you can get a partnership up to 25,000, more or less, better benefits, greater benefits, and a lot more involved there. So you must be doing at least 5,000 plus per month with that one. And it's at, what is it, 550 FICO at least minimum. So there's an up to 2 million program as well. There's an up to 5 million program. So if you're doing 15,000 a month consistently over the last 3 months or so, then you will want to check that one out down below. National Business Capital, Clearco, Credit Suite, more for their business credit building program. But those first 3 or so would be the ones, or 4, depending on if you're looking for a different alternative. Maybe you have collateral, give up accounts receivable financing or something similar, then the top 4 would be the ones. So Giggle Finance, as I spoke about, Biddy, and then a little bit more there. And what I like most about it, if I had to just pick one thing, it would be the fast and easy application process where you don't have to have a credit check and worry about hitting fees. Aside from that, you only need 1,500 monthly business deposits and an average daily bank balance of $150, which is quite low when you think about it compared to anything else. What did I like least? I really didn't like the amount of 1,500, and I get that's relative to each service. But for myself, where I'm at, especially where you may be, or you're thinking that's not enough for me, and it may be a little bit too much for you to pay back over the time, as well as what you're limited to in the banks and what can be accepted, verifying your banking accounts and the banking activity. So final thoughts, you can just see that there. So let me make sure I go back to this and we'll round up here. I'll probably go into the FAQs in just a moment, but you can see how that works. Let's go into some more reviews here. You see that they're on Trustpilot. Let's scroll there. There's more of them. Let's go over here and into the FAQs, and there's a login. So what is Popcash? You can see we talked about that. It's an online funding platform that helps small business owners get fast access to capital. They simply purchase a portion of your company's future receivables. How much can you receive? Qualified businesses up to 1,500 at the moment. Businesses that have a good remittance history with us can receive additional funds in the future. So like add-on funds, come back, pay that off, get more. How long does it take to receive your money? Funds will typically hit your account in less than 3 business days. So there are other ones where you can get same-day instant approval if you have the qualifications, and some that are actually a little bit faster. So again, those alternatives would be down below. And again, this wouldn't be my #1 recommended solution, but it would be if you had less in deposits, less than average daily bank balance, you don't have enough revenue, etc. This could be an option for you, and then you grow into the other ones. Can you still qualify if you have poor credit? Yes, we're here to help all business owners get the funds that they need. How do you apply? We spoke about this, Plaid, and how that works. What is Plaid? Our bank account verification service. Simply select your bank and log in with your bank account credentials. Our system will analyze your information and provide you with a decision in seconds. Why is Plaid not working for you? Sometimes banks and bank accounts have security settings and block delayed access. I've had problems with this with clients. Try any of the following. Log into your bank account online or on your phone. Make sure you have a third-party service access enabled. And second step verification, that is disabled. Reset your bank account password, call your bank and ask them for assistance. Contact Popcash support using our chat service. What is DocuSign? A lot of people know this, but let me say it. DocuSign is our electronic signature service. Simply review the contract and sign online. How does remittance work? Remittance is withdrawn automatically from your business bank account once per week, as we spoke about, like the $93 or so for the duration. Your first remittance will be 7 days after your funding date. Is your information secure? Popcash uses state-of-the-art encryption to ensure your information is fully secure. Why is the website not working for you? We recommend using the Google Chrome browser to access the website. And if you are having problems viewing the site on your mobile device, please go to your browser and menu and select the option to view the desktop version of the website. Why should you use it? We kind of spoke about that earlier, how you're using it for expanding your business, working capital that you could use right now. The login, as we see here. I'm not going to get into all of that right now, back office and so forth, but you'll see something like that once you're client and a customer. But you got to see everything. Oh, I think I went over this, right? Yeah. So I have this free personalized, customized contact form that you can fill out. I already believe I did. I went through it through the blog post, but that will be linked to you down below in the description if you want to get a hold of me so I can get you the best funding option and options available and really break it down for you from the top to bottom. It's like no other. You get the introduction, the services, the qualifications, how they work, the numbers broken down, if any. You get bonus tips, bonus material, bonuses, conclusion on what I would do and how you should move forward, and extra stuff, video content, blog posts, and everything you need up to date, and a way for you to get a hold of me and so forth. But that'll be down below. Let's see, I hope I didn't miss anything. That would be my Gmail there. But yeah, look at the alternative options if you're interested in finding out what those are and how you can get funding. There's this available option for $1,500 that could work for you, but there could be a better option as I spoke about. And what I would recommend would be the other ones. So look for those down below in the description. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to voice it to me down below in the comments. And again, those alternatives, make sure you check those out. I know I didn't show them to you all on screen, but there will be content, videos, blog posts for you to look for. And if you got value, out of this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others who you feel will get value, even if it's a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and click that bell notification icon right next to it so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Now, that is everything for myself. Talk to you soon.